Back for another one. Let's go. Now I just have to remember who's my speakers. Jesus Christ, I want to see a piggy's here, thank Christ. Irish League Statsman, welcome to the space. Stu Will, welcome to the space. Hey Piggy.
What is happening? I'm no longer co-host, I'm a speaker tonight. Jesus, man.
Oh shit, sorry.
It's like that, is it?
I'm replacing you.
Right. It says I'm a co-host now. Oof. Yes. I'm
Institute
back,
Admin, welcome to the space. I just need to find the other people. Hopefully this isn't like 2 weeks ago where the speakers just don't show up.
Ah, sure, but I can talk shit.
Alright. Josh, you're a good man. Almost sent Josh a co-host invite. Right, we'll be taking requests in a couple of minutes, like, so.
You should play music while we're waiting at the start, so you should. That'd be good.
I don't know how.
Just play music and hold your phone up to it.
I wouldn't trust him to play music.
Play a little Respect or something.
That's a good song. Good choice.
I'll do it on next time, sure.
Or you could sing, or I don't know.
Yeah, one more person. Yes, and Daniel mate saw that.
Here, Andrew Davies listening tonight, man. It'd be brilliant if Andrew came on and chatted a wee bit.
Andrew Davies, welcome, Andrew. I'm going to pretend like I know who you are.
Shut up, as a referee, you balloon.
I'm going to be honest, I don't know these referees, I just know they all shoot. Right, where's Wayne Lewis here? I see him now, Andrew Davies, see him now. Reece Marshall fan, welcome to the space. Does anyone know if I can steal the waffle music?
You have to ask him.
Did they make it up themselves?
I don't know.
Well, I don't think copyright exists on a Twitter space, so you might be right either way.
Alright.
Many have you got in there so far? 53? 54?
That's actually class.
It's all about the Irish League, man. Bigger than League of Ireland, like.
Aye, way bigger. Thank you, everyone, for tuning into the space. Right, Lewis, welcome to the space. How are you?
All good.
Right. So I think that's it. Pretty much we're going to just get started. So, well, obviously, like, I know we had a week of games here, but I think we need to start on Thursday night with the Linfield match. Like, what happened?
Madness. I mean, honestly, that's one of the biggest, just, like, that's football, isn't it? You know, it's just, you get all these things, you know. You're never able to predict what happens next, but Linfield should have won that game, but, you know, you don't take your chances. You're always running that risk, aren't you?
They think Haley cost it when he subbed on Callagher on. He didn't even know it, but he cost it.
No, that's not Callagher's fault, for God's sake.
Well, technically he scored the own goal.
No, when he came on at half time, I thought he was exceptional. I think he was extremely unlucky that own goal went in.
Was quite lucky, aye.
Yeah, the deflection didn't help. Like,
I think the more annoying thing for Linfield was that came from a 4-on-1, a chance they had to completely end the game and win it there. You know, to not score 4-1 and concede in that fashion, it's just heartbreaking on top of the other 600 chances he had during that game.
I thought that if Palmer had hit the ball anywhere else in the ground, Linfield get through. It's as simple as that there. If he'd hit it in Rose Ed, Linfield would have went through.
Remember, if any Linfield fans want to come on, just request to speak and we'll get you on, right? We'll get the Carrick fans in a second because I saw a Carrick fan request there.
Mm-hmm. You see the game there on Thursday night. Now, look, everybody knows I'm a Korean fan. I'm like, we don't like Linfield as far as the league goes.
No one
But I
does.
was there, and I swear to God, I was so engrossed in that game, and it was one of the best games I've ever been to watch. It had nearly everything in it except for a happy ending for Linfield. And walking out of the ground was like a funeral. It was so weird.
I was at the game with Red Hand, and I was kind of joking for the whole 90 minutes. And could you just imagine if RVS, after how bad they've been, to somehow get a goal? And I just couldn't believe when that goal just marginally went over the line. It's like everything just went against the field. From them just not getting a chance to RVS scoring a very very lucky own goal. You felt for Linfield because the atmosphere was fantastic and just everything Linfield were doing was right, other than putting the ball back in the net when it mattered.
You even look as well, like they missed Joel Cooper due to suspension. He's, from what I've seen of him in Europe, he's looked really sharp and up and at it. You think if you have a player like him on, the difference he makes, the way he just drives at people, he was a huge miss, I think, for Linfield.
I think Linfield didn't miss them, but they still created numerous chances. I thought Chris Shields was a level above. I thought Chris Shields was exceptional in that midfield. He was keeping the ball and getting Linfield up the pitch really, really well. I think if they just need a fortune on their side, considering the away leg. They were 2-0 up until the final few minutes, and then all the chances they had at Windsor Park, especially that 4-1 at the end. It just beggars belief how they didn't go through. RVS are ridiculously lucky to be in the group stage, and when you look at the group that RVS ended up getting, it definitely makes it a bit more ill feeling for Linfield, thinking about some of the European trips they could have gone and some of the teams they could have had coming to Belfast.
Glamour ties with Fiorentina.
I just say, no, if RVS play anything like they did against Linfield over them 2 legs, they're going to be in for a torrid time in Europe.
Mm-hmm. Well, that leads us on to today, doesn't it? Linfield went to Carrick. Now, I did say during the week, Linfield are going to have a really tough game because the Carrick pitch was sticky on Tuesday night. It was bobbly, and then it's been dry all week. It's probably worse today, and Linfield ended up getting beat.
Well, where did Carrick have such a bad pitch anyway?
I haven't seen any of the highlights or anything because I've been out all day. So hopefully some people can talk about the game and tell us, what happened, what went wrong.
I think we need some Linfield or Carrick fans to request here so they can speak, because I didn't watch it as well because you couldn't watch it. It's baffling how that wasn't live streamed. Like, that was a perfect game to live stream.
Mm-hmm. Are the highlights available anywhere? I'll jump on here and
don't think so. Just the goals.
I'll watch the goals, but get somebody on there who knows about the game.
I saw the winner, and it was a pretty good goal for play to him, but that's it. You couldn't watch it. It's just fucking disgraceful.
Was there any contentious decisions or anything in the game today?
Of course, Linfield had an offside goal in the first minute, which I think the wee Finnish fella scored that, which would have helped my fantasy team. But it is what it is.
I think it was Devine got the goal for the Blues in the end.
Aye, the equaliser.
Yeah, he got the leveler, and then Carrick scored. I think it was just after the hour. But only from what I'm reading after the game, David Healy was really not impressed. He was really disappointed with how they put themselves about. I saw the lineup that he rotated a fair bit. To be fair, I guess you can understand that. The players.
Guys, can we talk about Andy Mitchell's goal? My word, it was an absolute rocket.
I have to say, Carrick scored some absolute screamers at that. There's been some really big screamers at Carrick. When you think about the goal against Bangor in the opening game of the season and the Andy Mitchell goal, there's some bolters going in at Carrick going at the moment, but that pitch though is an absolute state. I don't know how that pitch has gotten so bad this quickly.
Right.
Yeah, they've wanted to make.
So I go on to it.
Yeah, they've wanted to make, like, everyone that's been talking, like, they say last season that they just dropped too many points at home. They've went out and they've said that we need to make Tates Avenue an absolute fortress, make it a nightmare for people to come to. You know, they've beaten Newry, they've beaten Linfield, you know, admittedly Linfield, who are definitely wounded, yet both 2-1. You know, at stages, there were periods in the game where it was 1-1. You know, in Newry, they were behind. You know, you can tell, I think, in that team that there is a lot of character about it. You know, there's obviously Stewarty King is, you know, he's Stewarty King. He's animated, he's active, and a sort of personality that he brings, you know, spurs the team on.
Carrick probably don't need it. Carrick probably don't need a good pitch because they're not a football inside. You know, they don't play, you know, football and try and play off the park. They're physical, they're long, they're direct. You know, they try and make it as ugly as possible. So when a team comes along like Linfield, who, as we've seen on Thursday night, are very good with the ball, and you know, are progressive. You know, when you're mentally, you know, probably not fully in the game, you're physically tired as well. To go to Carrick and play a physical game on a pitch on the hill, you know, it's probably everything that Linfield just could not afford to have after the European defeat. So it probably played into Carrick's hands with the rotated side and, you know, what they kind of made Linfield play into. So it seems like Carrick, quite literally on the pitch, got everything spot
on. Nick there, Carrick fan, is looking to chat, guys.
I was thinking, I was like, okay, I'm just going to wait till he finishes speaking so we can add him on. Alright, so Nick, going to add you to speaker now. Welcome to the space. You can now speak.
Yes, lads. I told you we were winning the league.
Fair enough.
We're winning the league.
Carrick, just a Carrick title charge.
Of course, man. We're going to go unbeaten for the rest of the season.
Nick, were you at the game today?
I couldn't make it, but I've been told that we're unreal.
Right, well, you have to be unreal to beat Linfield.
Well, that's what I was told, but I couldn't make it today.
What a game to miss, hey?
Was it? What a game!
What a game to miss!
I couldn't make it. I was gutted.
I hope you're not thinking about coming to Morphy next Saturday and doing the same.
I was gutted.
Have we any Blues fans yet?
I don't think so.
There's a guy called Jordan in the chat. I know him personally. He was at the game. He was.
But like, if they don't request to speak, then.
I was told we were good. Like.
So of course me and Lewis are talking. Of course, me and Lewis were talking about like the two results at home being 2-1 Carrick. Yeah. Like, are those two goals being conceded? Are those two goals conceding? But were you a wee bit like is it were you not keeping clean sheets?
Next gone silent. Here, only like
Well, so sorry about clean sheets.
What was that, Lewis?
Yeah, like you're talking about. If you even want to talk about like 2-1 again, not a result. Yes, so Linfield are a team, you know, who pride themselves on keeping, you know, the way that they won the title last season. I mean, they would not have won the title if they didn't have that combination sort of the defensive spine and the mental resilience. You know, they've now went and they've conceded to Newry and now they've conceded 2 to Carrick. And, you know, whenever teams like, you know, the Glens look on fire at the moment, you know, even Coleraine, like, I know they got beat, but Matty Shevlin, he's got another one now. That's 6-3 for him. If you know, you're going to want them to come back. If they're going to win the league, they're going to need to find the spine again, so to speak. Like, they just need the defensive resilience, and clearly on today they just didn't have it.
Linfield last season had that like clutch factor where they just got goals from the last. Ethan Devine got so many last second goals. He became a cult hero at Windsor in less than like half a season. So if stuff like that, the mentality, the grind out so many last minute winners, like that's what won them the league. Mentality is a greater strength, and I'm not sure how they're going to recover after the European hangover, and of course the loss of Carrick.
They'll get over the European hangover eventually, but I just feel like they're just missing, that striker who's just putting the ball in the back of the net. You look at Shane Lavery and Mansinga, who, as you say, Linfield may have not been the prettiest of teams last year, but they just had players up front over these last few years who, and obviously Waterworth before, who were just able to put the ball in the back of the net whenever the chance came. At the moment, they just don't seem to have that. Even when they're creating chances, they just don't have that, clinical man in front of goal who's able to put the ball in. So, they're kind of missing what they've had the last few years, and that's a clinical number 9. I think McDaid has probably done okay, but he isn't really getting the chances that he did at Glentoran to put the ball in.
McDaid hit the bar today when they were 2-1 down, so he did. That could have got them a point.
That's what I mean. They just don't have that kind of clinical striker at the moment that they've had in previous years. So, if they can either start trying to get that guy, if they can get Robbie McDaid firing or get that big guy from Finland, on the score sheet, they just need to start trying. They just need to try and get someone to start putting the ball in the back of the net, because that's kind of what they rely on and what they have relied on in the previous few years, and currently they're missing it, and it's making them come up short, which they weren't last season.
Right. Owen, can we skip on here and get my misery out of the way?
One of my mates keeps on just spam calling me. He's just fucking up my space though. Anyway, so yeah, you're just going to Coleraine game. Peggy, Coleraine Glenavon.
I'll make it brief tonight. Coleraine were jaded on Friday night. I think 3 games in 6 days with the same team, bar one player, was just too much for them. They did the simple things wrong a lot of the time, a lot of loose passes, which I think is just down to tiredness. I was shocked with the team lineup when I seen it on Friday night, and turns out Glenavon were worthy winners. Referee was crap. Made a couple of decisions, or didn't give decisions that he should have. I think there was 2 penalties that were quite obvious that he missed, but even at that there, look, Glenavon were very good and they deserved their win. I can't say any more than that about the game. I think Coleraine will be grand next week because the players will have had a week of rest. And I was talking with big Gareth Dean today, and he says he is more or less back to fitness now. He had a bad tear of the thigh muscle, which is why he hasn't had any action. But he's ready to go now. So that's that's an extra man on board. So yep, that's all I'm saying about the game.
Sure. Josh, were you at the game? Do you want to speak about this?
Yeah, I was at the game. I have to say I was very surprised with the result. Glenavon obviously missing. Glenavon had 4 players suspended and 2 out injured, so we were kind of down to the bare bones, considering obviously where we are in the league and the budget that we do have. But I thought we were. Beside exception, I thought Danny Wallace, first game he's actually playing at centre back, his natural position this season, and I think his 1-on-1 defending was absolutely great. Glenn had left back, first time he's been at left back this season after being. He looked like a whole different player. Actually, looked like he was. I thought defensively he was great, and I think he assisted the Fitzpatrick goal, if I'm not mistaken. Isaac Bird made his debut from the start at 18 years old, and I think he covered every little inch of grass. He was winning the ball well. He was getting the team up the pitch. For a guy who apparently was not good enough to get into Portadown's team, and we got him for free. It looks like a hell of a get for someone at such a young age. He did not look out of place at all. Didn't look like his first game in the Irish League. And I thought Campbell, Fitzpatrick and McCluskey up front they were giving Coleraine defenders all sorts of problems to counter attack. If the ball's in behind was great. Fitzpatrick definitely should have had more than 1 goal. He had numerous of chances. I think Coleraine would be a bit fortunate in that it was only 3-1. I think even on the Coleraine penalty, I do think it was a foul on Danny Wallace, which Shane Andrews blatantly missed. So, but maybe that's just me picking up bare bones. 3 points is all that matters. But no, it was the complete opposite. I think I knew in the back of my head that Coleraine were we had Gordon play more games than us, and we were going to be a bit fresher, but I didn't think Glenavon were going to be that good, especially considering we only had that starting 11 and a bunch of kids on the bench. So fair play to Gary Hamilton. His game plan was spot on, and I definitely went home a happy man.
Josh, I thought Hockey was fantastic. So you can tell the experience he has. Like, Shelvin scored a goal for us. He won a penalty. But you see, other than that there, and the chance that Shelvin missed by a lob, like, Hockey absolutely bullied the life out of him.
That's the thing that people, I think, that's one thing Glenavon do have, is we've probably got the best centre back depth in the league. We had Callum Burney, who's definitely a starter for us, and he pretty much never has a bad game. And Andy Doyle too, who I think most people know is very physical but very good. They were both suspended, and then we had Danny Wallace and Mark Hockey still available to play, with obviously Sean Ward at right back, and the definite experience of in that back line is immense. And I think Hockey, obviously our new captain Alex Singleton that went to Glentoran, Hockey was absolutely great. And even playing it from the back, he was playing the balls really calmly. He was making sure the ball was getting to the midfield or clearing it when it was needed. And I said Danny Wallace, I don't think Danny Wallace really, except for the one chance Corey had in the first half when he did kind of slip and fall, I don't think Danny Wallace really lost a one-on-one duel all game. So the defensive structure is there. When you got Snotty Garrett and stuff in midfield too, Michael O'Connor still will come back. Glenavon have the experience and quality. It is a matter of getting the consistency. We were unlucky against Ballymena, and we probably would have won that game with 11 men. We were really unfortunate against Lauren due to very controversial refereeing decisions. So I feel like the win of Coleraine was definitely overdue.
All right, Lewis, do you have anything to say here?
Yeah, it's Glenavon's recent record over Coleraine. It actually quite surprised me. It's 2.5 years since Coleraine beat Glenavon, just before the pandemic, I think was the last time. But yeah, Glenavon to me, going into pre-season, my team Bangor, we played Glenavon in pre-season, and they looked really, really up and at it, really sort of direct, knocking the ball about, playing, they were picking out spaces in defence. Last season, they obviously finished just outside the top 6 in the pre-split, but obviously, for me, that is a top 6 team. And that's what they should be targeting. I think this Coleraine team, I agree. I think, it's early on in the season, and playing these sorts of midweek schedules early, it's going to leave teams a little bit jaded. And with a full week's rest, I would think they'd bounce back. I wasn't quite sure if, Oren Kearney's made a few changes, with obviously Owen Bradley going and now Shevlin leading the line. But I've been really impressed by Coleraine, the way that they've knocked the ball about. And I think Coleraine, it's a bit of a blip, and I think that they'll recover strongly. And Glenavon, I still think they'll push on. I think it was a much needed result. But the way that I've seen them play, they just Gary Hamilton will have demanded a response, and they really just went out there and they gave it.
Well, it's very important now, if Glenavon are going to get into the top 6, they've got Newry and Carrick now coming up at Moorview on Tuesday and Saturday. There's 6 points you have to get if you want to finish in the top 6 in this league now. So, you can go to Coleraine and get that result and then lose to teams that, you're going to be expected to beat as such. So, I think it's 2 very big games for Glenavon. They've done it and competed with the teams that are either higher or around the same level as them, and now can they beat the teams that are going to be down below them? So if this Glenavon team really is going to compete for top 6 and reach the potential that this squad does do, which this squad does have, and they're going to start getting players back after Tuesday when Bradley and Doyle are going to be available after suspension. It's vital that the consistency keeps up, because that's what Glenavon's biggest killer is we just don't have consistency. We can either play like a really good team, or we can play like a team that looks like they're about to get relegated. And I think that's the most frustrating thing, is the potential there. Can we just live up to the potential that we do have?
Yeah, that's it. I'm just noticing in the replies here. Who do we displace in the top 6? That's a tough battle. Yeah, in my pre-season predictions, I'll be guilty of saying that I think I underestimated Coleraine. I had them as finishing 8th, way down in the league. Coleraine fans, you can come at me now. But really, honestly, I thought that was just a reflection, that it would be a tight battle, because I had it being tight between Glenavon, Ballymena, and Coleraine, as it was just last season, for who would be the last top 6 team. As it stands, I think Ballymena are just a little bit further back at the moment than Glenavon and Coleraine. But if I were to pick a battle, I think for that top 6, I think the last 6th spot, or the 6th place spot for me, is at the moment is going to be between Glenavon and Coleraine. And I'm excited to see how that develops.
We have a couple of requests here from Glenavon and Coleraine fans. So we'll bring on Carson here. Carson, welcome to the space. Of course, you're...
is Carson Glenavon?
No. Carson's a Stute fan, but he was at the Glenavon game, so...
I don't support Glenavon, I'm just anti-Coleraine.
You have to respect it.
To be fair, Carson was lucky he nearly missed it last year in the Portrush home, so he took all that jump and nearly ended up not getting home.
Was that you that was at the train station?
Yeah, I was the one who told you your train was on the other.
No, what do you call it? I got lucky. My mum texted me. She was going to give me a lift. So I got a lift home. So it wasn't too bad.
Happy days. So what are your thoughts on the game, though?
Well, I really enjoyed it. I got a bit too much into it. I didn't think I was going to be singing Glenavon songs, to be honest with you. But I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a great game. I thought Glenavon played excellently. Especially coming up expecting Coleraine to win. And I'm happy they didn't win, because I think realistically, I don't even know what I'm going to say here, but I don't like Coleraine at the minute. And I want them to have a week.
Carson, you just don't like Coleraine because I keep messaging you about Institute and crap.
We'll find out. 6th of September, Piggy. Coleraine Showgrounds, you better be there.
I'll be there, but I'll not be videoing, man, because it's only a wee game.
I'm expecting a title.
Northwest Cup.
Dire Coleraine knocked out by relentless, excellent Stute.
Aye. Right, get him off. I don't like that one.
You love me really,
Carson,
Picky.
Is there anything else you want?
No.
Is there anything else you want to say, Carson?
Well, and then I was at the Stute game as well on Saturday, and just what can you even say? It's just the same shite, different week. But the thing is, right, Ballymena they've played 4 games and they've drew all 4 games. So was I really expecting anything else?
Fair enough.
It was oh my god, it was just an awful game of football. But next week, Welders away, we march on.
Oh god, another Belfast trip. You must be ecstatic.
Oh, I can't. I love it. I love the trips to Belfast. We've got Welders away, then it's Coleraine away, then it's Knockbreed at home, and then it's the big one. It's Glentoran away in the League Cup. Oh, I can't wait, boys. Well, here, no, I'll let you go, and I'll actually let you talk about football this time instead of me drabbling on about random shit.
Good man.
All the best, boys. All the best, Picky.
All right, Carson.
All right.
We have Peter here. Your best mate, Picky. We Peter.
Get him on here, short and sharp, and then we'll go on to the big game of the weekend.
Peter, you can speak.
Well, a good week for Glenavon.
Good man.
But no, not for Coleraine. No, same old as last season.
It felt like last season, didn't it? But look, last season we flogged the same players to death week in, week out, and that's what it felt like. And on Friday, I felt that the players just looked tired.
During the game, I was watching it, but like Glenavon had Korean off the park. You see Matthew Fitzpatrick. You can back me up on this, but I think he played for Korean at a point, didn't he not? And moved.
He did.
And he was amazing.
I love Fitzy, and he's got better and better and better. Like,
I didn't even know who it was. I seen this big striker, and then I seen his name. He was amazing, to be fair. Conor McDermott was put off the park when he came into centre back. That was probably the worst 10 minutes of his life. But
I have a really.
I think he's had worse than that, to be honest with you, from reading the newspaper.
I have a really random fact about Matthew Fitzpatrick at Glenavon. He has played everywhere on the pitch except for centre half. He's even played midfield before in a few games.
He played goalkeeper via us too.
That's right, last season.
Not a good one. Another loss, 3-2. What's it with us and conceding 3 goals at home to Glenavon? It's just...
Yeah, Fitzpatrick has played midfield. He's played all across the front three. He played goalkeeper. He just hasn't played centre back or full back yet. But knowing Gary Hamilton, he'll probably try and do that in some way. Apparently, he actually did play centre half when he was a kid. So I'm sure maybe if things get really well at Glenavon, we'll see him at centre back one day. But he's that type of guy. He just will play anywhere across the pit, anywhere and do a job. He's a true professional. And as Piqué said, his improvement at Glenavon and what he brings to us has just been absolutely incredible. Unlike another particular striker that decided to run away from us and join Glentoran.
Well, if you get any more red cards, you might have to play centre back.
Don't even start me on red cards. I honestly thought Rory Brown was going to get sent off after that penalty. I was about to leave and just give up on life.
Should have been red. He was 3 and goal. Well, maybe, but the one in Jamie Glacken before was.
I think it was a high tackle by Brown on Shevin. I thought it was, like they're saying this double jeopardy meant he shouldn't be sent off, but it was a red card challenge. But anyway, listen, can we wrap this one up and move on to the next game and just say that the highest attendance of the weekend was actually at Korean on Friday night. It was a massive crowd, and Friday night football seems to help.
To be fair, the Glenavon away crowd was 10 times better, in terms of like the atmosphere and just even the amount of people that travelled. For the Glenavon fans were absolutely exceptional, and the wee band, the Spirit of 2014, who were kind of singing the whole way, definitely got the atmosphere going as the game went on. And I thought the Glenavon fans were great, and it's it made a difference at Ballymena, and it's something that we need to keep doing. So definitely helps the team.
I didn't even know you were there at a point. No, it took me 10 minutes to get into the ground. It was absolutely packed outside, and to be fair to Korean, they brought so many people, and everybody came out in their numbers for Korean, and there was a few Glenavon fans, and they had that big drum that probably made them a bit louder, but no, it was a good turnout.
All right, Peter, is there anything else you want to say here?
Hopefully we play Linfield as soon as possible, and we can get a wee cheeky win over them because we're due one.
Aye. Thank you very much, Peter, for coming on.
Right, see you.
Joe, Pete.
Hey. We're going to talk about the Ballymena Lawn game next because we have a Ballymena fan question here. So before that, does anyone have any thoughts about the Ballymena game?
I have thoughts about Larne. Larne are winning games. That's,
it's a shock.
They've turned the corner.
Sorry, that's it. Should I go on?
That's it. Like, they've turned the corner.
All right.
They should have left Morphy Park with only at least a point. I thought that penalty at the end was disastrous. Lucky twat to get away with that. Still furious about that, even though after the Korean game.
All right, Lewis, you have anything you want to say?
Yeah, Larne are in. Yeah, they're in pretty good spirits at the moment. I can't say I'm convinced by them. I still think they lack a bit, sort of, I guess, down the wings. I think they could be a bit more direct. Albeit I would like to see Ben Doherty. Like, I reckon if Larne ever moved to like a midfield 3, Ben Doherty would be a pretty good fit there. But the thing that I think Larne are missing a little at the moment, I'd probably say they need a left back, and then maybe a bit more sharpness just down the wing. But apart from that, like, they're grinding out results now. I mean, they got a good win against Ballymena. I think they deserve the points. And, I think they're also going to end up having probably one of the best defensive records in the league. Obviously, Paul O'Neill, he's flying at the moment. Couple goals for him. I think it's 3-3 now. He's starting games. He's playing with a lot of confidence, and just I think with him and Bonus, the way that they're sort of linking up, they're two different types of players, and they're starting to gel, I think.
All right. So if no one else has anything else to say, I'm going to bring on Callum here. Is that all right with everyone? Does that sound?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Callum, mate, welcome to the space.
Gentlemen.
I'll go easy and I.
Hello.
Right, Callum. We can hear you.
Can you hear me all right? Yep.
Yes. You're grand.
Right, so, to be honest, I watched the game in a bar in Turkey, and it was fucking horrible. All we did was sit back and just watch as Lard just completely tore us apart. We didn't make chances, we didn't press up the field, and we just let them come at us the whole game. We had, I think, 2 good chances, and it was the only 2 times we actually tried to penetrate their defence, and we didn't do much with them. We should have scored in the first half, and just at the end of that, we made one good run the last minute of the match, and that was it. Just ran straight out of play. That's basically all I can say about Ballymena United this week. It was woeful. I didn't see the red card because. Sorry, Josh.
Go on, Callum.
No, I didn't see the red card, so I didn't, because it wouldn't work.
Callum, did you see the Paul O'Neill challenge on Sean O'Neill? Jesus, what's going on there?
I haven't a clue.
Sorry, Piggy, what you say?
Did you see the challenge of Paul O'Neill on Sean O'Neill?
No, I didn't see that either.
It was contentious. I think it should have been a red card, but he didn't get a red card. And if Larner down to 10 men, it changes the game altogether. I don't know if anyone else thinks it was a red card or whether it wasn't.
Yeah, there's chatter like if McCulloch's was a red, then should O'Neill's be a red? I think McCulloch's. I think McCulloch's was maybe a little bit on the harsh side, like sort of one of those oranges, as you say. But for O'Neill's, I thought it was certainly running sort of along the boundary.
So, Colin, see you on Ballymena. I think before, at least from a Glenavon point of view, we thought Ballymena were the team that were probably going to be ahead of us, after the transfer window you've had, but Ballymena haven't been particularly convincing. You said you weren't convincing against us, even when we had 11 men on the pitch, or 9. Do you see much hope? Because I know some Ballymena fans have been questioning Ballymena and David Jeffrey's kind of way for a while now. Are you in that camp, or you think it's just a short-term problem? Did you answer?
To carry on, in my opinion, I think they're still. They're always.
Callum, you're cutting out a wee bit here.
Season they haven't. Season, and we just need to pull socks and back before we were at the end of last season.
Here, listen, McCulloch was definitely a red card, by the way, because he just came through the back of the cab with the studs up on Randall. I'm just watching it back here. Like, that's a red card every day of the week. It was a bad tackle.
So, Callum, do you have anything else to say?
Hello.
Do you have anything else to say?
Fuck the band sliders.
Right, get them off.
Barnes a very weird nickname for the Barnsiders, like considering the Barnsiders is already a nickname.
I think we've been quite good in this space without being abusive to each other.
Aye. Right. Have a question from Hasamiru here. But I don't know which team he supports. So Hasamiru, what team do you support here? Hasamiru, you're on the space now?
Mute.
Aye.
You're going to have to hear, silence is awful unless you're going to have to start singing, Owen. Dead air is
forever blowing bubbles.
Hello, guys.
All right, you can speak now. So, what team do you support?
I support Man United. To be fair, I know it's the Irish League, but I just wanted to know if we still have Man United fans in Ireland. Are we still relevant in Ireland?
But I'm afraid that's not the topic of discussion here. So,
I'm very sorry. I just wanted to know if we're still relevant, but yeah, forgive me.
Also, the Irish League is for Northern Ireland. For the Republic of Ireland, it's the League of Ireland. So yeah, there's another League of Ireland space on Friday night. Try and tune into that show.
Here, Hasamir, before you go, who do you support in the Irish League? Korean?
In the Irish League?
Korean.
I like Celtic.
Cliftonville then.
That would totally cause no controversy. Everyone's wrong with that.
No, I'm joking.
So,
I'm joking.
Is there anything else you want to say here, mate?
No, I'm joking. Have a good night, lads.
All right, cheers, man.
Thank you. You too.
Bye.
Oh, brilliant. Can we go on to the next game?
So we have a lot of Clonmel fans here listening, so we'll just go into Clonmel game now, and I'll lead this one. Give me a second. Hey, we played the Clonmel. We played decently well attackingly, but I'm worried about us defensively this season. Luke Turner's been solid as a left back, right? But we do need a proper one to move Luke Turner back into centre back. What was it? We conceded 3 against Coleraine, 2 against Carrick, 1 against Ballymena, and 2 against Dungannon. That's 8 goals in 4 games. That's not looking good. I'm worried about us defensively.
Were you not
Sorry, go on.
Was defensively probably not one of your stronger points last season in a title chart? You were just really difficult to score against.
Aye.
And now it seems to be the complete opposite this year.
Yeah. Last season we only won games like 1-0 or 2-1. Now we're winning games 3-2, 4-2, and all that's just a bit chaotic.
Why do you think that is? What do you think? What's part of the change this season?
I think your man Josh Bunting put it best with being overrun in the midfield. Like, we just have Gallagher in the midfield to run the whole thing pretty much, with Hale and Doherty attacking and all that. So yeah, we just need another solid midfielder to put alongside Gallagher and McGrand, where we should be.
Owen, I think you're better when Chris Curran plays.
Well, Chris Curran, to be fair, him scored a wonderful goal, and I actually had a reply here saying, not going to mention a Chris Curran masterclass. Chris Curran impresses me every time he's on the pitch. Like I'm not sure why he doesn't start him. Maybe he doesn't have the legs for it anymore, but like he is our captain, and he is still a very good player. So even as a right back or something, to move low back to midfield, even if Paddy could do that. Alright, so we have Dylan here with questioning. Dylan, mate, you can now speak.
I don't think you've made him a speaker. It's just us four still.
That's connecting, so
he must be on dial-up. Well, You see the penalty? I'm looking at it now, and I'm trying to work out whether it was a penalty or whether it was outside the box. It's very, very close.
I think watching the match at the time, it was outside the box, but actually, like, Dylan denied request, like, so. And on the penalty, like, the penalty, when I was watching it, it looked inside the box, barely. Like, watching it, I thought it was far off, but looking at the replays, it's outside the box. Just barely, it's outside the box.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah. But first time watching it, I thought it was a penalty as well, so I can't exactly blame the ref, even though he was shite.
Listen, Jack's requesting again. If it's that same Jack that comes on and speaks horseshit, he's not coming on.
He had a different avatar, but I'm not sure if he just changed it.
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's different, Jack. Let him on and see.
Should we bring him on then?
Going ahead. If he's crap, we can send him off again. And I apologise, Jack, if it's not the same Jack and I'm slagging you off when I shouldn't.
Hello, guys. What's happening?
Hello.
Hello, guys. What's up?
So what team do you support, Jack?
Icebreaker Crusaders, mate.
Poor soul.
I do believe it just about scrapped the winning us New Year, like, but we'll take it, you know.
Is it okay we move you now and bring you back on when we're talking about Crusaders? Is that
yes,
okay?
Yes, mate, 100%.
All right.
Jack, I apologise. There was another Jack who kept on logging in this year. And he was saying Glenavon were the greatest team in the world. All sorts of stuff.
They're fucking wick. Jesus Christ, I'm talking about them, mate.
I know, but they beat us.
Diabolical.
All right, thank you, Jack.
Cheers, mate.
All right, so Ryan Clark requested. He's been requesting for a while, so let's hope he's an actual Climber fan this time. Ryan, mate, you can now speak.
Hello.
So what team do you
support? I support Ballymena, but like I was at that game on Tuesday night there between Ballymena and Cliftonville, and I'd say Cliftonville play some fucking unbelievable football. Like, I think are probably the best footballing team in the Irish League, like football wise. Because like I was just watching because I was training there, but I watched the second half of the game on Tuesday, and people like just rolling heel and all their movement and stuff. It's fucking first class. Like I have to say, I think them are Glentoran. I don't know about Linfield. The result this on the day even but I think Linfield it'll just be interesting to see how they cope now. To be honest, I'm very intrigued now over the next few weeks to see how they do.
Glenville's compliment we had last season, even though we scored 5 few goals, you just played so well consistently. That's why it was so good. All right, so do you have anything else to say here, Ryan?
I was also about to say there as well. I think Dungannon actually plays I think Terry Devlin for Dungannon's a very, very solid player. I wonder if any few clubs will come in for him.
He's decent
in the next few years. Like even with Ballymena ourselves, I think it's just a bit. Even watching that Tuesday night, it's a bit fucking like it's a bit hit and hope. Like there's nothing really. It's get up to Jordan Gibson and then see what happens. Like you know what I mean? It's nothing really is going on. But that's all I really got to say to be honest. Thanks for having me on.
All right, no bother. Thank you for coming on, Ryan. Right, we finally have a Climber fan and Connor McD here. So Connor, welcome to the space. You're just connected now. There we go, Connor. You can now speak. Welcome.
Well, lads, I think just touching on your point there, Owen, just around sort of being chaotic with Cliftonville at the minute. I do agree. I think we're making games a lot tougher than what they should be. I think obviously Peaky you said last, or I think it was actually Josh said last year, you know, in terms of defence, that was probably one of our best sort of areas of the pitch. I think this season, I think our problem is, and I think it's with too many attacking options at the minute. You know, too many players want to go forward, and then I think, you know, Owen, you were saying yourself there in terms of Chris being left sort of in the midfield on his own. It's, I think it's causing more problems than it needs to be, and I suppose, you know, a few things as well. Now we're probably ruined letting Lauren Donnelly go to Lauren. You know, with Levi going out injured and things like that, you know, we're having to sort of move the back about and put obviously Turner in at left back. And listen, I think he's been great since going in there and had a cracking game against Ballymena on Tuesday. But I do agree with a lot of the points you boys are saying here, just in terms of it being chaotic and, in terms of football, the football we're playing at the minute is outstanding, but I think we're just making these games a lot tougher than they need to be. But at the same time, I suppose a good sign of a good team here is that we're still winning. After that first game against you boys, Peaky, we're winning games again, which is the main thing. I don't know if you boys agree with me here, but in terms of winning games when we're not playing well,
I agree.
I think that's a good sign, but we need to stop conceding so many goals. Games against Carrick at home, conceding 2 goals at home against that. No disrespect to Carrick, they've obviously went and beat Linfield. They've got a good bite between their teeth at the minute, but they're the games we shouldn't be conceding in.
Do you think you've changed, from your way last year? Do you think Paddy McLaughlin's trying to be more attacking because maybe your issue towards the end of back in last season was you were just not putting games away, you weren't scoring goals and that was your downfall? Or do you think he's maybe trying to learn from that, or do you think it's just maybe the players that you have at the moment are just all about the goals and are just not having their game management in the right place at the right time?
I think so, Josh. You look back to last season, in terms of attacking, in terms of football, we were unreal to watch at times. And, I think back to that game against Ballymena last year, and I always say that's the game that probably lost us the league. 2-0 up, and we managed to sort of draw the game, but, lose the 3 points. I think a lot of it comes down to the confidence within the team going forward. I think the players, know that they can score goals, if that makes sense. They know they can score more than the opposition, and I think we're maybe, switching off at the wrong times. So I think, I suppose with your point, Josh, Paddy probably does have that confidence in the team that, if we do score goals, we can always score more goals than what, the opponents do. So I think that might actually come into it a bit this season. Are we happy enough to concede a few goals, knowing that we're going to score 4 or 5 goals every game? Obviously that's not always going to happen, but the team seems to have that confidence that we can go and score 3-4 goals every game. It's there, and I think from the first 2 games of the season, we can actually see that. So, there probably is an element to that.
I think Ronan Hale is just, I think, I thought he was class at Larne, a bit inconsistent, but, still really, really good. He has hit the ground running at Cliftonville, and for me, he is going to be huge for because the way Cliftonville at the moment are just, some of the football is really good, but, as you say, it's open as well. But when you've got, somebody who's scoring, you've got Ronan, who's, he could be on for 20, 25 goals a season easy. You've got a guy like him, and you've got, guys still like Jimmy McDonough, who's an assist machine. And obviously when Levi Ives comes back, what he offers even on the set pieces and whatever, the amount of ways Cliftonville can score a goal, it's not good to be sort of unstable, but even if they are, there's still no end of ways they're going to hurt you.
No, 100%, Lewis, and I think you've nailed it on the head there. There's goals all around the pitch. You're naming a few there, Ronan and Jamie getting the assist, but Ryan Curran's scoring goals. We've still got Joe Gormley at his age. He's still scoring goals. Chris Curran. There's goals all around the pitch at the minute, and I think that's an element of the thought process with Paddy at the moment is, we might concede 1 or 2 goals a game, but we're going to score more than the opponent. Which in the league at the moment, if you look at all the teams in the league at the minute, I think if everyone can agree here that it's probably the best this league's ever looked. In terms of quality, it's exceptional.
So thank you very much. Sorry, Lewis, I'm going to have to interrupt you because we're kind of running out of time here to get all the teams.
Yes, 100%.
Only halfway through. So, is there anything else you want to say here?
No, lads. No, all good.
Thanks very much for coming on, Connor.
Speak to you boys soon. Take care, lads.
Bye, Connor.
Right. So, I think the next biggest number of fans we have here are Glentoran fans. Just quickly, like I sent a tweet at the top here. The Derry City admin, I think he accidentally joined the space.
There's
so
no
I know
accident,
it's not here anymore, but that's
still
very funny.
There's no accident about it. Derry City know that the League of Ireland space is boring and they want involved in ours. So, look, Derry City won there on Friday night. So, the quarterfinals of the League of Ireland Cup. There you go. That's their plug for the night.
Best of luck to Derry. Right, so I think we'll move on to the Glentoran game now. Does anyone have any thoughts about that?
The Glens go marching. No, the Glens go marching on, boys.
I have a very simple way to put it: Portadown or shit and go on. That's it. I've got nothing else to say on that. Portadown are an absolutely awful club. They're going down. They're going to barely win a game this season. And Paul Dillon, whatever you call him, is a absolute disgrace to they are, I think.
So I pick Josh kind of interrupted you.
He lowered the tone there, so that's disgusting. Dillon's a decent manager, and he's it's not his fault that Portadown are rubbish. No, here, look, Glentoran are top of the league. The Tim McCann effect, boys. What a man! I've seen him on the sidelines. I've seen the highlights. I've seen him on the sidelines, and he was telling Mick, this is what we do, and Mick listened to him. Whenever Tim McCann did that at Larne, Lynch made him feel like a wee boy.
So what should Mad Mick just move upstairs and Tim McCann full-time manager then?
Well, Tim McCann's the coach, isn't he? And Big Mick, fuck me, what am I saying? Mick's the manager, so he's managing the players, and Tim McCann's telling him where to put the players.
So we've got Lewis. Do you have anything to say before we bring on requests?
Glens are looking pretty sharp at the moment. Well, I mean, obviously not for the first goal. Jay Donnelly's missed it. I think he got a little fortunate that Singleton was where he was, but it's just I think the Glens are sort of like, last season in the post split, I thought Mick sort of like the big thing with Mick that I think cost the Glens was meddling with Donnelly and sort of his position on the pitch, like trying to shunt him out to the wing. I didn't like that at all. I think his best position is very much as a number 9. And, much as, Donnelly had Singleton there to help him out. But, I mean, the Glens are looking like I was unsure about how they turn out this season, but I'm really liking the look of them. McMenamin, I think that was his first goal from open play this season that he got, the second one. And obviously, when he's in full flow, he's just absolutely brilliant. And then even later, I think Mick will have been delighted that his subs came off the bench as well and made an impact. Was it Ali Roy and Plum combining for the goal? So the way the Glens have started this season, I think, there's a bit to be hopeful about there. I think in terms of strength and depth, they signed really well. Aidan Wilson, he looks an absolutely cracking player at the moment. I've been really impressed by his performances in defence. And Singleton's came on. He's put himself about as well. Like, I think the way the Glens have started the season, they're going to be there and thereabouts again.
So if none of you have anything else to say, I'm going to bring on Daniel here. Is that okay now? Is that grand? I'll do it anyway. Right, Daniel, welcome to the space. There you go, you can speak.
Well, since Thursday, it's been brilliant. We've won our game. Linfield lost in Europe, and we've lost to Carrick. So that was great. At the moment, our performances we're doing decent and on the pitch, and the fans are. I think I'm just going to say this: we have the best fans in the league.
So they put it down to be funny.
Yeah. To be fair, I don't understand why you don't give us like more Portadown section, because Portadown you could probably fit everyone that went to Portadown's in a primary school classroom.
think it was only 500 Portadown fans. So
it wouldn't surprise me. Portadown, they're just fans. I don't even really. It made no atmosphere. Like James Singleton after the game said something. I can't remember, but he said, I think along the lines of, "It's an atmosphere he's not really used to," something like that. And other than that, I have nothing else to say other than thank you, Jamie Carragher.
Just from the Sunderland filament. That's why you're at it.
Here, I agree with Daniel there about the Portadown thing. Their fans aren't coming out, and it's no surprise because they're struggling. And as he says, there wasn't many of them there, and Glentoran could easily have took another 200 there. Put them at the end of the main stand.
Oh, we see
definitely.
See what we played them on ball. You go ahead, Daniel.
Like, we had a lot of people, I know. We had lots of people looking for tickets from our end, trying to figure out if we could get to the game, because it was just so late. We had, I can't remember, but I know there was a lot of people seen in Facebook groups looking for tickets. And I think Portadown should have just made a section off for us, because
try and cash
it would have increased the revenue as well.
Exactly, Lauren did it.
I'm away now. Yeah, and it worked well. Alright, cheerio. Cheerio. How the fuck do I lose this?
Hey, just before we move on to the next game, I'd like to point out the fact that both mid-Ulster teams are struggling to get fans right about now. Glenavon, obviously 500 at home the last game, and Portadown have 500 at home. So it'll be interesting to see how they cope and all that. Pretty much having to rely on away income.
Well, Glenavon fan, I can't remember. I think he's a part of the supporters club. Red Hand will be able to correct me in the comments on who it was, but he did ask the Glenavon board recently at a meeting about have the board got doing anything or have any plans to get supporters and to get a younger generation of supporters through the gates, and unfortunately they don't have any. So there's no kind of planned project or anything at all, or even in the future plan to try and get supporters in the ground. So the Glenavon support probably will not, unless Glenavon really do start kind of going above expectations here and fighting for European places. I don't see the Glenavon crowd changing much throughout the season, which is really sad because as we showed at Coleraine, we can create an atmosphere, we can be loud, we can get behind the players, but we're just not doing that enough at the moment.
Right, so we have a question from Reece Marshall here, so we'll invite him on. Reece Marshall fan page, welcome to the space.
Just pretend he's actually Reece Marshall. It'd be better for the listeners.
Reece Marshall, it's such an honour.
We should get Andrew Davey on. Let's see Andrew Davies here. We should get him in there for his artistic opinion.
If Andrew wants to speak, he can request. It'd be interesting to hear from him a bit, sort of just, how life is for referees.
I think your man Michael Clark did an interview with David Crangle.
I know, but Crangle's fucking all about himself, man.
You never know. You never know who you could be. You never know. Andrew David could be with Crangle, and they're all having to be listening to us now.
I know, but we can slag the balls off them.
Yeah. We have a problem here with one of our speakers. His speakers, I think his thing malfunctioned or something where he can't speak anymore. So Lewis here can't speak. So, and my space is fucking up.
Well, can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Unfortunately.
Here, see if get Stu on there, because Stu's very knowledgeable in Irish League.
Stu, mate, welcome to the space.
Mute.
Hey lads, how's it going? You alright?
How
you doing? It's funny, I grew up a Portadown fan. I'm actually not from Portadown, but I always grew up being a Portadown fan. But it is actually, I know you were touching on it earlier on, to see the malaise of the Mid-Ulster fan base over the last sort of 5-10 years, it's really, really disappointing. Even the playoff game against Anna last season, I'm pretty sure the Portadown board, it was free entry to the ground, and obviously there was a decent crowd for that. But watching it on Friday night, it looked pretty pitiful. But I think the reality is Ports are going to struggle massively this season. I think they really are. Guy Russell's come in, ex-Mort player, looks decent. Mashigo, the South African chap from down south, looks good. But a lot of signings have come in. They've no Irish League or certainly Irish Premiership experience. And I think the reality is Doolan, who's a very, very skilled coach. I think he won the League of Ireland with Drogheda about 10 years ago. he's a very, very capable guy. But the reality is he needs time to bed that team in. He needs time to bring in those new players to bed in. But he's not going to get the time to bed them in because the games are going to be coming thick and fast. And it's very, very difficult, especially because I'm pretty sure he actually isn't responsible for the recruitment of players. There's a committee within Portadown that do that. So I think as long as that persists, it's going to be a very, very difficult, certainly opening 3 or 4 months for the Ports, which is pretty disappointing.
Yeah. Of course, the run's not helping them either. I think they played the big 6 teams in the first 7 games, or something like that.
Yeah, which in one sense is not a bad thing because the reality is Portadown's situation is you're not really expecting. I know there was points last year was against Korean at home. You're not expected to pick up points against those teams. I mean, almost rather the first 6 or 7 games to bed players in against teams they're not expected to. So when it comes round to playing Newry, Dungannon, Carrick, at that point the team will be better bedded in. But I think the point that was raised earlier on, I think was I'm not sure Josh Lewis, as a broader point. Massive congratulations to Korean. I was saying to Peaky during the week, unbelievable what they're doing to attract fans to their games. Larne have done it. Glens have seemingly got the bit between the teeth again in terms of getting fans bought into what they're doing. There was a good turnout for Linfield, obviously, the other night. God, it was a big European game, but I mean that has to be one of the key focuses for a lot of these boards. And it could take 2, 3, 4 years to cultivate a fan base, but that has to happen. Otherwise, I mean, you could be in an embarrassing situation in a few years' time. A club like Anna could have a bigger support base than Portadown.
You see down south, and I hate referring to down south all the time, but you see bar UCD, every team has like a half decent support at home games, and like it doesn't matter, where it's Drogheda or whoever, they're there and they're all having a good time and battering the shite out of drums and singing and chanting and lighting flares and all sorts of stuff. They just seem to be going for a night out.
The team they've taken the German model though too, haven't they? They've really there's a lot of engagement. You look at clubs like Bohemians, you look at Shamrock Rovers. Shamrock Rovers didn't have a home stadium for 30 years. And now they're selling out 7,500 the other night for a game that they were already 4-0 down on.
Yeah. I think in Irish League there's like I feel it in the stands. There's a fear to go out there and let yourself go and be different. It's all very reserved. Like, sometimes when you see a goal going, you don't have people jumping up and going mad. They sort of they clap their hands. It's weird, because you want to jump up and just go daft.
Just go mental.
I think it's getting that balance though too.
I was in the Korean away end.
Who said that?
That was Josh.
Aye.
But I think the one picky thing I would say to that, Picky, is I think that at the minute, you take somewhere like a club like Cliftonville. Cliftonville have got 90% of their fans in one stand. And the lack of money for development of stadiums in the Irish League is going to curtail a lot of the atmosphere, in my opinion. If you get the funding right, you get the development right, you could have, and it sounds a bit cheesy, but like they have it over here in the MLS, like singing sections within games, even at Windsor Park for internationals. You have sections of the stadium that will be, that will naturally have that atmosphere. And I think at the minute you're having old lads in their 60s, 70s beside young lads who are wanting to create a bit of an atmosphere beside families who, aren't going to do it. And I think until you get that development right, it's very, very difficult to know where to house fans and where to put them.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about other clubs, but at Korean, and I'm not speaking ill of anyone here, so I hope nobody takes it the wrong way, but the support feels very divided. The people who would do the chanting and singing and all, they seem to, I don't know, they seem to have issues which stop them doing that there, and it's weird. And I think if Korean support was all together, the whole club would be sort of in a better place. It's in a good place, but it could be in a better place. I don't know whether other clubs have similar sort of divisions in the fan base, or what feels like divisions in the fan base.
Glenavon did. Again, Red Hand's got to correct me if I said the story wrong, because I wasn't supporting the club when this happened. But the Spirit of 2014, which is the supporters club for Glenavon, who do create the atmosphere and do all the singing, mainly at away games. At a European game, they were at a game, and the board of directors sent a letter to the Spirit of 2014 blaming them for not sitting down during the European game and getting the club fined. And then since then, the Spirit of 2014 haven't went to home games, which basically means Glenavon don't have an atmosphere at home because they are the main ones who do it. So Glenavon did have a big issue with his supporters club and the board of directors, which I think since that guy who was very supportive of making me into the Korean showgrounds the easier way, I think he's actually managed to fix the issue. But Glenavon did have an issue like that for a long time. So I know what you're saying, Picky, and it is a big issue because it does take away a big part of the home atmosphere that you desperately need at home.
I've called it out, and I think that no matter what club it is, I think there needs to be a relationship with the section that makes noise, like Linfield with their Blue Unity.
100%.
Help them.
I agree. Aye.
And Cliftonville, like Owen will tell you, like unless they're playing a big team, it's like being in a library.
But now's the time to do it. Like, let's be completely honest. Like, I've been following the Irish League for over 20 years. I see Marshall Gillespie's on this, and Marshall's probably been doing it for, plus one or two more on top of me. But, like, I don't know if anyone else would think this, but it's never been more exciting to actually be following the Irish League. Like, those games on Friday nights, like, was it last season? There was a Coleraine against Larne at home in November time. I think it was the start of your slump, Picky, so I won't go on about it much. But the atmosphere looked incredible. Like those games, like having the games across the weekend. Carson was on there, went to the game. Fans of other clubs are able to go to matches as well. But I think the Friday night thing, if that works for clubs, go for it and really sort of put their all into it. And I completely agree. The engagement between the club and the supporters bases, be it fan clubs or whatever it needs to be, has to be to me of paramount importance if you're going to keep building this league. Because it is bloody exciting in the minutes, and I think there's a lot of hope, even with Linfield getting so close, 60 seconds away from qualifying from the group stages. So there's something really great happening, and I think we just need to not sort of pat ourselves in the back too much and say, "Oh, job done." This should be the moment where you're kicking on and trying to make it even better.
100%, Stu. 100%. I think that everybody, NIFL and the clubs, they need to sit down and talk about how to, improve the whole product, not just on the pitch but off the pitch. How do you improve it? They don't have the money to improve grounds, so how can you make the best of what you got? And the supporters is the key.
Well, first of all, stop showing Glentoran and Portadown on TV. So that's actually the best Irish League advertisement, Yeah,
but here the Glens are top, so obviously the games that have been picked, have showcased the team that are top of the league.
Yeah, but you need more competitive games, not showing how bad Portadown are.
Who's on next week?
So I think we want to move on to the Crusaders game finally, just to wrap this whole space up. So Stu, is there anything else you want to say here?
No. Cheers, lads. I think it's great stuff. So keep it going. Thanks very much.
No bother. Thank you very much, Stu, for coming on. So we have a couple of questions here. We have a request from Otters Jack down now. So we're going to talk about the Crusaders new game league. So we're just going to bring Jack back on, right? Because he deserves his chance to speak. Jack, welcome back.
Yes, mate. Thank you very much.
Hiya, Jack.
Hey, mate. So as I was saying, it was a very, very scrappy game on Saturday. To be fair, very, very scrappy game. very lucky to come out with 3 points, but it's the same with Portadown game. We're starting off very slow all of a sudden. Most games, it's really, really sloppy from us. Just getting sloppy goals away, sloppy fouls. Apart from the first day against Dungannon, if I haven't seen us play anywhere near, that type of play. Even against Basel, we played decent enough, but against St Newry and Portadown, we need to be hammering those teams by heavy amount of goals, but we're just terrible at the moment.
Jack, you missed Kennedy.
To be honest, mate, I think once Kennedy come off in that Glentoran game, we were awful. We had no playmaker. We were just fucking shite, complete, utter terrible. Literally, it was just hoofball the whole fucking game. It was terrible. Ian Debe came close maybe once, but apart from that, 100% missing Kenny, 100%. Whenever Kenny was in the team, he was our main player who created most of the chances. You know what I mean? He's running the wing, pin ball in the box, stuff like that. He's making those runs.
Yeah, I rate him, and I've said on here, he's probably one of the top 5 players in the Irish League. Him, Cooper, and McMenamin are the 3 best playmakers in the league.
Yes, 100%. I do have to agree with you on that one, mate. 100%.
Hey, welcome, Lewis, back to the space.
Yeah,
welcome back
that was
after
my
technical
phone
difficulties.
battery. That was my phone battery punishing me for predicting Coleraine to finish 8th. Take it like that.
It was me.
Biggest cuss.
Yeah.
So, Lewis, do you have any thoughts on the Crusaders games?
Yeah, I caught a little bit of their game against Newry at the weekend. I thought they were the second half. I thought they were complete sort of step up from the first half. I think generally, since the end of last season, if you'd have asked me a year ago about what path Crusaders were going to be going on, I would have had a few more question marks. But after, obviously, I know it was quite sort of dramatic fashion that they won the Irish Cup, and their European performance against that pub team from Gibraltar was, admittedly the away leg was in absolutely boiling weather, but apart from that, I would say that their performances have, since probably end of March, early April, have been pretty good. Portadown, I know they were made to work for that, but I would still say that they were commanding enough to deserve the win, and I would say the same with their result at Newry. And even when I think they play the big teams, I still think they've got the bite in them. They've got, Ben Kennedy. I agree. I think he's an absolute class act. And even, you've got Johnny McMurray and Adam Leckie, who are, I guess, 2 slightly different footballers, but who both kind of threaten in their own different ways whenever they're called upon. So I think Crusaders are on a bit of a good run at the moment.
So, Jack, is there anything, Piggy, Josh, do you have any thoughts on the Crusaders game?
Yes, mate. To be honest, I honestly think.
I think Crusaders, after obviously having a bit of a scare, I think Crusaders should have that quality all over the pitch to get goals. So I think in terms of the depth and the powerhouses they have up front, and they can attack you different ways. So it's kind of lacking for a more physical presence or by speed with Kennedy. So Crusaders are going to be a scary team. I think the big issue for Crusaders is just that consistency. They haven't really kind of found a consistent level yet, but I think they're the type of team where, as the season goes on, they just get better and more into the groove. I think typically they can start slow and they normally end seasons quite well. So obviously, they obviously did themselves quite well in Europe too, considering Basel as a top European side. So, I think Crusaders are a team to keep an eye on. I don't know if they'll be up there in the title race or not, but I definitely think they'll get a European place. And potentially go on and win the Irish Cup again this year, because I think that's kind of where they are at the moment. And in terms of Newry, I think Newry are competing very well. I don't actually think they've played a game yet where they've been blown away, but they just are really lacking kind of Premiership quality at the moment. And I don't want to say too much because we're playing them here on Tuesday night. I don't know what I want to say, but if you're Newry, you keep doing what you're doing, and I'm sure they'll be fine. Because they played Linfield, they played, they went to Carrick away, they played Crusaders, and they've been competitive. They just haven't been able to get the points. Hopefully that keeps going on Tuesday night. Hopefully they don't come to Mornfield and somehow pick up 3 points. But Newry are doing themselves quite well, but maybe just lacking that kind of Premiership quality to get over the line. I think Crusaders if Crusaders can just keep a consistent level, which they've kind of lacked the last few years, then they're definitely a team to keep out for. But I don't think they're on the same level as Glentoran and Linfield or Cliftonville at the moment.
I honestly think once we find our attack, our full attack starting to land attack, I think we'll be a lot better going forward. Because with Lecky McMurray, as Jaman said, two different type of footballers completely, 100%. Because Lecky, I watched Lecky against Portadown, absolutely awful, dreadful like she was. But I think Lecky's only useful against certain type of teams. I think McMurray just brings that explosive stuff when he starts or comes off the bench. He brings that firepower up top, and especially with Heats, he's probably the quickest player at the minute. Probably has been for a number of years, but I think once White gone, the Crews have struggled a bit, because we won't have the two wingers anymore. We can't just play down the wing every time. So we have to try and go through the middle a bit, and I think that's where what Baxter tries to get Lecky in. But Lecky can only do it so often, hold the ball up and let wingers run. You know what
I mean? Yeah, I would agree with that there.
Owen, can I run through a few private messages I've got now when we're finished chatting about the game?
I go on, Jack. Do you have anything else to say here first?
To be honest, we're very lucky to get the 3 points against the Portadown, and Newry. To be honest, 2 quick goals against Newry helped us out a lot. But realistically, we should be going to Newry more or less already having the 3 points. Newry aren't really a very good attacking side, in my opinion. So Crews realistically should be peppering them down those wings with Ross Clark and Paul Heatley, just fucking peppering them. You know what I mean? Because realistically, Newry, I can't really see them getting relegated, but I can't see them, doing very well at the same time. But I do believe they're a better goal scoring team than the likes of what do you call them, boys? I can't remember the name of the team, to be honest with you, off the top of my head.
Dungannon, Portadown.
Portadown. I think going forward, Newry will score more goals and Portadown 100%. But the Crews will have to do better. All depends on how long Kennedy's out for. He went for a scan the other day, but all depends how long he's out for. It could be very worrying for us going forward in the attack. I think once Baxter finds his front three, his front men, we'll start pushing on. We'll start getting up there again. But until that happens, I can see us being, third, fourth table club.
So if that's all you want to say, Jack, then I'll just wrap up the Crusaders Newry thing. Is that all you want to say, sure? Is that all you want to say, Jack?
Yes, mate. That will do me. Thank you very much, mate.
Thank you very much for coming on, Jack.
Cheers, Jack.
Cheers, bro.
Cheers.
Yeah. Also, Jack, I know it doesn't move you. But Josh didn't mean to speak over you. His space is glitched, so he's all over the place. He doesn't know what's going on. Right. Anyway, so one last question just before we end the space here, really quick. Jordan Stewart, 125k. Is he worth it?
Nope.
No.
Josh?
Not consistent enough.
I'm too worried to speak now in case other people are speaking because I generally can only.
No one's speaking. No one's speaking. You're gone.
No, Jordan Stewart's not worth that amount of money. I think money in the Irish League is just too much at the moment. He's not worth that money. I don't think he will move. I don't see Lauren paying that money. He'll stay at Linfield, but I think 125k in the Irish League is just ridiculous fee. The Irish League fees right now are just. It's hard for particular teams like Coleraine and Glenavon and stuff to compete with, and it's kind of sad to see that's kind of where it's going. But there's not much we can do about it, but George Stewart's definitely not worth that money whatsoever.
What I would say is, if it was a club in England signing him or signing any other of the talents, then yes, that money is appropriate. But with teams in the league trying to sign players, I don't think it is. Does that make sense?
Well, you bet I just got a message from Stu Will here saying who is what 100k?
McManaman.
McManaman, Shields, that's it.
Yeah, Conor McManaman, yeah.
Cooper. Cooper.
All right. So I think that's about wraps it up for the space. If no one else has anything else they want to say.
Oh, and I have a few DMs here.
Go on, sure.
Okay, we have an anonymous one here. It's a Cliftonville fan, and it's about the atmosphere. And he says that there's a lot of shit going on. Cliftonville have made it hard this season for crowds to be under the stand where the atmosphere comes from. The organisation, season tickets is affecting the crowd under the stand, and they wouldn't sell tickets for it yesterday, and it was only half full, and the club needs to speak to fans. So that's that. I have another one here from a Blue Man who says the Glens have more coaches than TransLink.
You'll bring them on space for the next time.
And then this is he was there on Thursday and today. Crazy results. Today was flat, lifeless, but that will come good when the team settles. And what Healy said on BBC Sport about Jordan Stewart after today's game is very interesting. I think that's all the messages that we haven't covered. Some fella, Carson, wants to talk about the championship.
Who's this Carson fella? Never heard of him.
He's relentless. Listen, we might do a deadline day space.
We'll discuss that in the group chat, but I'm not sure how it'll work. We might do one.
Nor am I, but we might.
Yeah, we might do a deadline space and talk about general questions, with Stu Will and all. We were talking about the Irish League and fans and all that. We can go into that more in depth on a deadline day space. We can try and get NFL transfer rumors on, sure.
Yeah, it would be brilliant. Now, there's probably no clubs in here, but it would be brilliant to get a couple of wee sort of, wee stories fired towards us that make it interesting.
Should we have the Derry City admin in here?
I think somebody wrote him a cheeky message. Just when he came in and wrote, "I was never here," somebody wrote, "Just like Derry City from the Irish League." The admin ran away. Yeah, it's a bit close to the bone.
So, Josh, Lewis, do you have anything you want to say? Josh, you go first.
Oh, here,
you can't hear Lewis
one
speak.
One more.
Oh, sorry, go on.
Andrew Davey says, "Good listen tonight. Great for the league. First time I've been on, but I was having issues. But he's happy to come on board and chat another time."
Yes, but so Andrew Davey, feel free to give me a follow here, and we'll try and get you on the space soon enough. So Josh, do you have anything you want to say?
No, I've just really enjoyed this visit. I do apologise if I did speak over anyone towards the end. I don't know, I don't have a clue what's happened. But I've really enjoyed it. Thank you for everyone for listening, and hopefully another 3 points for Glenavon here on Tuesday night. Hopefully no one's talking in the group chat on Tuesday night saying, "Oh my God, I can't believe we've just Glenavon just got embarrassed by Newry." But yeah, I've enjoyed the space. Thank you everyone for listening, and I look forward to the next one.
All right, Stephen Crawford, welcome to the space. There's a shame you have to come while it's ending. Lewis, do you have anything you want to say?
Yeah, just thanks for having me, and hope everyone joined the listen. Representing the Bangor and the Premier Intermediate League, the third division of Northern Irish football, which is automatically the best. But yeah, good crack, First time being on this space as well, being invited on, and lots of good discussion points, and Yeah, be back on again soon, definitely.
You're a pleasure to have, Lewis. You're a pleasure to have
Cheers,
on.
mate.
All right, so I think that's it. But thank you for everyone listening on the space. The next one will probably be on Sunday this time again. So yeah, just like thank you to Stuart Adamant for showing up, Marshall Gillespie, of course, like Dow City Admin, of course, Irish League supporter was in here one time. All right, Stephen Crawford as well. Thank you for the follow, Stephen. And yes, just and this will be recorded all and put on YouTube and all that on the Irish Football Blog YouTube channel for anyone who missed it. And yeah, that's from all of us. Right, cheerio. Do you three want to say goodbye?
Cheers, everyone. See you soon.
All right, thank you all for joining in, and goodbye.